Hello and welcome to Warminster Maltings in the southwest of England. My name is Robin Appel and I'm going to show you how we make our famous Icknield malts. Warminster town is one of the original malting capitals of the British Isles, sitting on the western tip of the important Icknield series soil type, the most perfect soil for growing premium malting barley. Built in 1855 by the Morgan family, our traditional floor maltings was designed around the rigorous protocols of the malt tax, which were repealed in 1880. William Morgan planned his substantial malting complex on the edge of Warminster town and designed a remarkable structure which incorporated greater efficiency at every stage of the process. From walls built of stone offering better insulation to the 5-foot ceilings on the germination floors allowing to stabilise temperatures, Morgan shunned Victorian grandeur in favour of industrial efficiency. Technology may have enhanced our ability to offer a wider range of malts, but many of our processes, including the laying and the dragging of the floors to create our Icknield malts, have remained unchanged. Here's the story behind the malt. To make malt, we artificially germinate barley. This process triggers enzymes which convert the starch content of the grain into a sugary substance called maltose. It is this which brewers and distillers ferment to produce alcoholic beverages, and this is how the process works. Sourcing our barley is the first step and a very important part of the process. We're talking about experienced growers, farming on the right soils, as well as the right varieties of barley. From the barley grain itself, we're looking for bold grains, fine unblemished skins, low grain nitrogen, and at least 98% germination capacity. Our strict quality control policy is closely monitored where both barleys and malts are critically analysed using the latest technology. This provides daily confirmation that our very traditional process consistently matches up to the exacting standards of our brewer and distiller customers. When the barley arrives at the maltings, it is tipped into one of our storage intake bins. From there it is conveyed to hoppers above the steeping vessels. The malting process then begins by steeping the barley in water over 3 days in order to raise the moisture content from 14% to 44 to 45% when germination begins. Following the steeping process, we then transfer what we now call the green malt onto the germination floors. We do this via a series of augers and strategically placed slides in the upper floor. The green malt now flows onto both the upper and lower floors. Then, using the power shovel and a great deal of artistry, the floors are now levelled. With the aid of the Robinson turner and numerous passes with the malt plough, we continuously ventilate and cool the green malt. You see, the object is to maintain the germination process, but at the slowest possible rate. It is all this activity which gives rise to the term floor malt, with Warminster Maltings being one of the last maltsters to produce brewing and distilling malts in this way. If we examine the barley grains on the floors, rootlets are quickly developing from the embryo. The enzymes are converting the starch, and a green shoot is slowly making its way along the back of the grain. This green shoot wants to emerge from the other end of the barley grain, but we must not let it get anywhere near to that. So the challenge for the maltster is to modify all the starch before the green shoot travels more than 3/4 distance to the other end of the grain. We do this by managing the germination process so that it just ticks over very, very slowly. This takes about 4 to 5 days to complete, and we know when it's finished when we can take a single grain, squeeze it flat between our thumb and index finger. This signifies that all the starch has been modified, and the white paste we expose on our finger is known as the maltsters chalk. At this point, we then quickly transfer the green malt from the germination floor to the kiln. We use the power shovel to clear the floors, both upper and lower levels being cleared at the same time, creating a curtain as the malt falls from the upper floor into the large screw conveyor below. Then via what we call the main elevator, the green malt continues its journey to the kiln, where a pyramid starts to form before being levelled off by the maltsters. We have a very new and very sophisticated gas-powered kiln which can make a whole kaleidoscope of pale and speciality malts. Curing the malt on the kiln takes between 16 to 18 hours. Finally, we have to separate the dried rootlets from the malt grains. These are known as malt culms, which we sell to farmers for animal feed. Customers' orders are then selected and sometimes blended from these bins. It is all very fresh product, crushed to order if required, packed and stacked on pallets, ready for delivery the next day. So there it is. That's the way we make our Icknield malts, the traditional way here at Warminster Maltings. Our wonderful range of old buildings are a unique record of the past, and more than 165 years after they were constructed, they're still here performing as they always have done, and all set to continue well into the future.